Hello and welcome to Creating a Performance. Today we are diving into the creation of my client, Brandon Sklenar's performance in Paramount Plus's Western drama series 1923. 1923 is Taylor Sheridan's prequel to the Yellowstone television series he created, in which this early generation of the Dutton family face a new set of challenges in the early 20th century, including the rise of Western expansion, Prohibition, and the Great Depression. Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren star as Jacob and Kara Dutton. My client, Brandon Sklenar, stars as their nephew, Spencer Dutton. When Brandon and I sat down to work on the creating of this performance, we initially focused on Spencer Dutton's history and background. This broke down into three parts. First was the fact that Spencer was raised on a ranch in the foothills of the Montana Rocky Mountains. Life in the early 20th century in the Western country was a very different reality from today. The physical aspects of ranch work, skilled horsemanship, animal husbandry, harsh climate extremes, and no creature comforts relative to our lives today. You had to be a strong character to survive the West of those days. Secondly, we focused on Spencer's military service in the First World War. Brandon created a complete history of Spencer's experience, and we did imagination sessions to make detailed specifics and then combined all of that into substitutions so Brandon experienced the truthful emotional experience, the fear, the violence, the mustard gas, of the horrible trench warfare of the Great War. Thirdly, we focused on Spencer's motivation to move to Africa to become a wildcat hunter. This was directly related to the effects of his time in battle and the PTSD he suffered. Africa offered him the space and time to heal, and his tracking skills from his upbringing in Montana slid perfectly into the wilds of Africa. Thus, he could make a living and still heal from the damages of the First World War. I also encouraged Brandon to do a romantic history for Spencer. In Africa, Spencer meets and falls in love with Alexandra. It's a love story for the ages, and we wanted to make sure Spencer's romantic history was detailed and open to the new love interest. After we established those important character history points, we worked our way through my Archibald questions. 20 questions I suggest all my clients ask about their characters and scripts before they ever audition or go in front of the cameras. By the way, these questions are available in my book, The Actor's Mindset, from Applause Theatre and Cinema Books, available on Amazon and Goodreads and many good bookstores. But the questions are basic method questions, such as, who is my character? What are the traps that might get me caught acting? What is my character's motivation? What are my character's secrets? Good, fun, deep background analysis. It's important to remember that answering the questions is only the first step of the process. After answering them, my actors then do a substitution, or as if, that personalizes the answers so that my artists feel the reality of their character's life circumstances in their hearts. This is directly from Konstantin Stanislavski's methodology, which most actors use worldwide to connect to the truth their characters are experiencing. What a substitution does, when it's done properly, is pull the work from the brain into the heart and gut. It makes a performance go from being smart to being heart, and heart is what art is all about. This is also covered in my book if you're looking for more information. Also, I've created something here that we call the Archibald Workbook. It's essentially a blank book that we fill up with the answers to the questions, but we do it for every scene of every episode of the series so that we can create a kind of Bible or guidebook before my clients ever step foot on a location or a soundstage. It's a way of making certain you are prepared as best you can and that you have a way to arc your performance to incorporate the plot turns and character growth. I'm proud of this book and the rewards my clients have received by doing such intense preparation for the roles they play. As we worked through the Archibald Workbook for Spencer Dutton, Brandon was able to arc his performance so that each episode brought new developments and new revelations about Spencer, and thus in turn created a performance that is nuanced, heart-driven, and smart. And finally, this performance also demanded extreme physical capabilities, from horseback riding to lion wrestling, from the severity of African weather to dysentery, from ocean swimming to fight choreography. Brandon spent many hours in the gym training for the fun but very difficult physical demands. Brandon also attended Taylor Sheridan's cowboy camp in Montana for several weeks prior to filming. And honestly, he impressed the heck out of me. If you've seen the show, you know what I mean. Brandon's steady, North Star performance is a large part of why the series is such a success. I get particularly tickled in the long bar scene where Brandon does a physical knockout punch we haven't seen on screen since Clark Gable. And I'm touched by his emotional journey as Spencer. He brings heart and muscle to the screen in a highly successful performance. 1923 is available for viewing on Paramount Plus. Grab a beverage and a snack and take the time to enjoy an adventure story with a big romantic heart from the beginning of the 20th century. Thanks for joining us on Creating a Performance.